Down here at Swanepoel in Stickland, and we're going to be putting Origin oil to the test. We've got Kai's race car on the dyno. It checks kilowatts and it checks torque. We're going to check if replacing racing oil with Origin racing oil is going to make any difference. We're going to run the vehicle on the dyno with the original racing oil. Then we're going to drain the oil, replace it with Origin oil. And normally it shouldn't make any difference. But if it reduces the friction, then the torque output, the kilowatt output is going to improve. And the only thing that made that difference is Origin oil.
So let's do the comparison. The engine has racing oil in it, and Kwesi will run the test. It goes through a number of power runs before determining the final output.
We've done a test with the current lubricants in the car, and we managed to find a power figure of 171 and 242. That's where it's stable at that point, which means it takes about 3 power runs to get all the temperatures in the right area. So this is our base that we will use to test the difference, and there's various other things as well that we'll look at. It's like the duration it takes from that point right up to the end, and that will also tell us a lot of things. Sometimes the power figure is not that much different, but the time is a lot better because it's maybe accelerates quicker up until that point. So that's all the stuff that we'll see once we put the new oil in.
The original race oil is drained and flushed out.
Just with a flush on the engine oil. So now we'll do the Origin oil with the oil filter.
Origin racing oil is now poured into the engine. We will compare the performance of the original racing oil against Origin's product.
So we've obviously drained the old oil and put the new oil in, and we've done some tests. And what's very interesting is that the torque curve is a lot smoother. So if you look at the actual numbers of 171 against 173.6, it is only 2.5 kilowatt gain. But through the rev range, there's places where it gains like 4 or 5 kilowatt, and it's also gained a lot on the torque. So for racing purposes, you want every newton everywhere, and that's why I said in the beginning, the end numbers won't show big, but the actual curve is a lot smoother. It shows you that the engine is spinning up easier. And the other thing, that's also the duration is shortened by nearly 0.1 of a second, which is a winner or lose in the race. So yeah, interesting, and we haven't done a hell of a lot of running. I still think it will pick up another 1 or 2 once it gets to every single component inside the engine. So yeah, great results.
Well, that was super successful with the Origin oil test, but it was actually too successful. We pushed out so many extra kilowatts. Now the racing vehicle is out of spec, and they've got to retune it to bring it back into the racing spec for the next race. But that's a great problem to have, eh?
Origin oil, above and beyond.